that God wants you to prosper. Not somebody else, not someone down the street, but he wants you to prosper. He promises to be our exceeding great reward. God has a great plan for you. 3 John, verse 2. It says, "Beloved, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers." Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm Dr. Chonta again with Heart Truth Ministries, and it is truly my privilege today to be able to introduce you to Aaliyah Haynes, who happens to be my daughter. And I'm so excited to have her here today talking about health, talking about fitness, talking about self-esteem. Oh, we're going to have some fun today. So Aaliyah, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit to our audience?
So like my mother mentioned, I am Aaliyah. I'm 24 years old. I have a bachelor's in math from the University of South Florida, as well as a master's in management from Wake Forest University. I currently work for a jeanswear company in the HR department, but as well as she has mentioned, I'm an online health and fitness coach with Team Beachbody. I just started the beginning of 2020, so just a little bit over a year now, and it's been one of the best decisions of my life.
One of the best decisions of your life. I definitely see your giftings coming out as we start going through this, and I think a lot of people who have been following you on social media will agree with me. But tell me a little bit about how you got into Beachbody and coaching.
Growing up, I would say maybe around 8 years old and up, I have often been overweight, and I have viewed my weight as an issue or a problem. I would often receive, well, maybe not often, but every now and then I would receive comments here and there like, "Oh, have you heard of Weight Watchers? You should really go on it." Or I would feel really uncomfortable in my own body. And so from 8 years old on, I always struggled with that. And I believed in like the American standard of to be skinny is to be beautiful, or like you wouldn't be accepted if you didn't look a certain way. And so I believed in that. And my beliefs were very toxic, I would say. And so my relationship with the gym, once I was able to go to one when I college, when I went to University of South Florida, and that was the first time I really got introduced to it. Didn't really know what I was doing, but I thought, okay, well, I want to work out because I want to be skinny. I want to be accepted. I want other people to accept me, but really it was more so I wanted to accept myself. And I recognize that now looking back, but a lot of the time that I went to the gym, it was to punish myself or to do a lot of cardio because that's what I thought was going to help me lose weight. I did have a good time at the gym here and there. I started going to fitness classes, group fitness classes where they danced, and it was really fun. And so not all of it was terrible. And so I had an on again, off again relationship with the gym. On again, off again, because it was toxic. I didn't have the right beliefs in it, but I also did enjoy some moments. So I thought that this was a really good idea for me to keep going, but there was no set schedule, nothing holding me accountable to it. Throughout the years, I wavered in going to the gym, but also in my weight fluctuating back and forth because I wasn't being consistent. Flash forward to when I went to graduate school. In that time period, because of all the stress, because of all of the assignments in an accelerated program, I didn't have a lot of extra time, I would say, to go to the gym, or I didn't make the time to go to the gym. A lot of times I would be studying and just say, "Oh, I'm busy, I'm too busy," and I didn't make the time for it. So throughout that 1 year, I gained about 20 to 25 pounds alone. And for me, that was like not really a rock bottom just yet, but it was a very troubling experience because my jeans weren't fitting right, or I was seeing more rips in the jeans than I had before. A lot of my shirts weren't fitting. I had to go up in a size, and it was really troubling to my mental well-being to say like, okay, well, you aren't going to buy new clothes because one, you don't have enough money to buy a whole new wardrobe. And so it's like, okay, you need to go back to the gym. But then the gym was like this weird space where I still didn't have my footing. All this is my backstory. But then around Labor Day of 2019, I went and visited a friend in Nashville for Labor Day. And Nashville is known for all their beautiful murals around the city. And so we went around. I really wanted to get a lot of pictures and then post them on Instagram. But when I got back home, I didn't like any of the pictures that I saw. I didn't like the fact that I had gotten so overweight from graduate school and that I wasn't putting myself first. And so I vowed from that day on, really October 1st onward, because I like starting on the first of the month for some reason. I said, I'm going to take care of my health and I'm going to work out 3 to 4 times a week. And so it was semi-consistent in that I still didn't have anyone holding me accountable, but that is kind of where I started getting back into it, October 2019. And then I saw an ad on Instagram for kind of like fitness influencers. And I wasn't looking to be an influencer, but I was interested in what it had to offer because I wanted to be able to help people. I've always had the desire to help people. And I believe that later in life that I will be a teacher at some point. I wanted to help others. And if it was in this fitness space, I was like, okay, cool. It wasn't that I had to know everything. I didn't have to be a personal trainer, didn't have to look a certain way or have six-pack abs or anything. That there's always going to be trainings available. And this is all within that advertisement. So I filled it out and it linked me to who is now my coach mentor. But I sent over the information to her and then we got on a phone call, we talked about it, and that's kind of where my journey started. After that conversation with her, I didn't reach back out. I didn't say yes right away. It was something that I kind of just talked about and then like forgot about. I didn't say that, oh, let me think about it and then actually get back to that person. I thought about it and then forgot about it. And then about 2 weeks later, she reached back out and I gave all the limiting beliefs that I could think of. Like, I don't have a story. I'm boring. I don't think I'd be a good fit. Who's going to listen to me? I don't look a certain way. And we kind of just talked it through and squashed all those. And I told myself that, I should stop living in fear, time to live in faith and just go for it. And so I said, yes, I signed up, and that is how I got introduced into coaching.
Sounds great. Well, now you talked about a lot of things there. The self-image, which a lot of the culture seems to put on women as to how we're supposed to look. Now, I know you grew up with a faith foundation, and we recognize that what God's word says is that we're fearfully and wonderfully made in his image. Well, we're fearfully and wonderfully made. His works are mighty, and we should know that right well. Our soul should know that.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, in many instances, as what you described, whether you're young or even in college, there's some mean girls out there
Yes.
and mean boys too that say things. Also, some mean parents as well. Not that I'm one of them, but there are some mean parents that would identify to their children that they're overweight and maybe they need to do something different. And yes, in many instances, they're trying to get you to be healthier because the whole goal is to be healthy. But it doesn't come across that way. And so I'm sure some of the people that you coach, based on your social media posts, and I really love them. I really think you have a gift there in motivating others. But based on some of those posts, you really talk authentically about some of the things that you've gone through. And yes, we're supposed to see ourselves through the eyes of the cross, but we also have those humans that touch us and hurt us along the way too. So you want to talk a little bit about some of that self-esteem and self-image of what you've been putting out there to try to encourage somebody in the audience might be thinking, well, yeah, that's me. I don't feel that I should look this way. And what can you say to me or to encourage that young girl?
Yeah, so it's difficult in the sense that, as you mentioned, like there are going to be some people who will target your weight as being a problem or the way that you look, your image and your appearance. And I feel like that is one of the first things that people will try to dig out when they're trying to bring you down, bring a person down, like, oh, you're a fat, worthless, whatever. Or they'll just say something about your weight, like, you can't move this, you can't do this, and because of your weight, and having that be something that kind of hinders you from being someone of stature, being someone of value, being someone of worth. And for me, it wasn't necessarily that. I recognize that now, but to be in a place now where I can kind of provide that motivation to others, it stems from also having others pour into me. As a coach, one of our vital behaviors is to do personal development every day, at least 15 minutes. And personal development is different for every person. It could be business development, leadership development, but a lot of the times it is really getting out of your limiting beliefs that you have about yourself, limiting beliefs that you have on others. It's about your self-image as well. And so a lot of that comes from books that I've read. It comes from podcasts that I've listened to.
Of course, we're supposed to renew our minds, right? Right. We're supposed to transform by the renewing of our minds. In many instances, the Bible will tell us who we are, whose we are, how great, we are. We have these treasures in earthen vessels, but people don't recognize the giftings that they have. And in many instances, those that are mean girls, if you would, are saying things out of competition and competing. And it's not that we're supposed to be adjusting each other's crowns, but unfortunately, there are those that do hurt. So,
Mhm.
what I hear you saying is that mental ability, that stability, that encouragement, that understanding of who you are really needs to be there as well. But on the flip side, let's look at the body image issue, because it is truly important that we exercise regularly, we eat a healthy diet, because we're supposed to occupy until Jesus comes back. We're supposed to do business, the Bible says in Luke's gospel, until he returns. And we can't do that fully with excellence if we're not healthy, if we're not fit. And so I know in Beachbody, you have really been going at it as far as the workouts are concerned. And you even show others how you're doing your workouts and, the fast, the reset that you've just gone on. Can you tell us a little bit about your true transformational story?
Yeah, so I mentioned earlier, I started getting back into my fitness journey around October of 2019. And so up until this point, and I started with Beachbody in January of 2020. So up until this point, January 2021, I've lost around 40 pounds throughout this experience, 27 of those being strictly with Beachbody. And I know a lot of that throughout that time, I wasn't focusing on my diet at the beginning. And so now that I have kind of dialed that in, it has helped a lot in my weight loss journey. I did want to mention as well, just because we were talking about just the body image, there is the body positivity movement going on, and saying that you should love your body at whatever stage it is in. And I wholeheartedly agree with that. But also, like you said, like we need to have some level of health and fitness in order to continue to complete the actions that we need to do here on this earth. And that's not saying you have to look a certain way or be a certain size. And body positivity and being healthy at the same time. Take a performer like Lizzo, for example. She is very much overweight, but she can outperform. She probably has better lung capacity than I do, because she's singing and dancing and doing all this, that, and whatever on stage, and going on tour, doing show after show after show. And so there's no way for me to say that she's not healthy, she's not fit. Some people, no matter what they eat, depending, like it could be the healthiest food in the world, and they still will look overweight. They'll look different than I would if I ate the same thing. And I think that there's also like something so cool about you can take the same workout program, same diet as someone else, and we would still all have very different bodies, because not everyone is built the same.
God does make us unique, doesn't he? And that's awesome. And I've been able to enjoy many of the programs as well. The size program, the dancing, where it doesn't feel like it's fitness.
A workout.
You
Yeah.
know, planks, you can kind of keep some of those and some of the weightlifting, but that's okay. There's in Beachbody, there's plenty of variety for everyone. And I kind of mentioned you talking to the young girls before, but this isn't limited to any specific age, is it?
No, not at all. There's a program for everyone, like you mentioned, variety. We have some really cool things that are happening. I think we release about 4 new programs every single year. So one every quarter. And so we've got things from boxing, we've got bar, yoga. We do have low impact workouts. We have workouts that you can do with your family. The age to start is 18 and up, but there are options in there that you can do with kids as well. And so there is no age limit for fitness. And so it's a really cool thing that we offer.
Well, Aaliyah, it has truly been my pleasure to interview you. I think you are absolutely beautiful, but I might be a little bit biased. I'm going to make sure that we drop your links below, because there is a bit.ly that you can then reach out to Aaliyah for her to be your coach, or jump on board with the rest of the team. And I'm not going to tell you all the people on the team, but we'll let that be a surprise for you. But it has truly been a pleasure. I really enjoy watching your social media storm that keeps going around. Everybody follows you. I really believe it truly is a gifting that you have to encourage others. You say that you're going to be teaching later on. I believe you're already teaching, and you're teaching a lot of people today to love who they are, the way God made them, and to do the most that they possibly can. So I always like to let my audience know at least one tip that they need to be able to take when they leave from this, because of course I always want you to put feet to your faith. And I always tell you, I want your finances to be in order, but health without wealth, you're not going to get them. The two go together. So you can't have the wealth without the health. All right. And so it's very important that you do just that. So as far as the takeaways are concerned, I think we need to know whose we are, who we belong to, that God has a great plan for each and every one of us. And within that plan, we have to embrace the gifts that he's given us. But at the same time, we want to be able to breathe. We want to be able to live right. We want to be able to enjoy our families. And with that said, we need to be healthy. With this COVID and all of us staying at home, Beachbody has a great answer for you to be able to work out in the comfort of your own home, at your own schedule, and also have some accountability. Okay, so Aaliyah, I know you're on all the social media platforms, but are you running any specials right now? Any groups? Anything that you would like to say? Because I know you really want to help as many people as possible. What would you suggest that they do?
Yes, so you can reach me on any of the social medias. I'm very prevalent on Instagram and Facebook, but I am running a accountability group that is starting on February 1st. I'm super excited about it. Right now, it's just called the February Fitness Group. It is going to evolve over the months to come with different themes, different challenges, and prize giveaways that we will be having. But anyone can join in, and it's ongoing, because just like our health and fitness journeys being ongoing, that group is also going to be ongoing. So I highly encourage people to join in using either the links that you are provided below, or getting at me on social media and just talking about it, seeing if it's the right fit for you and how I can help with your health and fitness.
Yes, and I'm going to make sure that I put those links below. It's Aaliyah Jade, right? All
Yes.
right, so I still remember that. But definitely, if you are interested, Aaliyah is the coach of the season, the star coach. And maybe I'm biased, but in any event, make sure you reach out to her, hit her up, let her know that you're interested, and she will truly follow up with you. And I'm so excited about my audience jumping on board and joining in. And more importantly, that they're going to get their health together, and that they're going to have their mental ability together and feel better about who they are and what they're capable of. So thank you so much, Aaliyah. I am so glad that you're doing what you're doing. Keep doing that. Do you have any last words that you would like to leave?
Make self-care a priority, no matter what that looks like. But instead of saying you're too busy, you don't have time for it, make sure that you do schedule some type of time to take care of yourself.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that. And it has truly been a pleasure again. I'm Dr. Chonta with Heart to Heart Truth. It is my pleasure to introduce you guys to Aaliyah Haynes. Make sure you click on that bit.ly so that you can get in touch with Aaliyah and get on your fitness train and start your journey to a better you. Thanks so much. And you have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day. Hello. Talking about money can be an embarrassing issue, and it can have a little bit of shame to go along with it. But if you really are ready to come out of the shadows and get into the marvelous light, truly being able to be confident and skillful in what you do with your money management, I'm your girl. I've got online classes for you. No one even has to know. Financial independence is something that you want. Financial freedom is available. Financial security should be yours. Jesus didn't die for you to financially struggle. So come on out of the shadows into the marvelous light. Get into one of these classes: Financialopoly, Financial Wisdom for Financial Freedom, which is going to give you 6 weeks of all the money management principles that you're going to need to know. Believe me, I walk you through it. You can do it. Step-by-step instructions on what you need to do. And then there's also Biblical Financial Personalities Masterclass. It's the principles and the practices that go along with how you authentically handle money, how you deal with money, as well as why you deal with it the way that you do. And it's a Bible study. So it goes through observation, application, interpretation, as well as contemplation, so that you then, utilizing the scriptures and those principles, you can maximize what it is that you do have and secure your future, not only for yourself, but for your family. You can find us online at the number 2, htruth.org. At Heart to Heart Truth Ministries, we're helping believers live an abundant life based on God's Word, standing on His promises, walking out His principles, sharing with God's people, serving as unto the Lord.